Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Bill Williams on the Influencers Podcast, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, today we have some very special guest on the Influencers Podcast, a real influencer across the nation. This guy I've known for 15, 20 years. He's one of my best buddies in Atlanta, YG Nyghtstorm. Come on in, YG. Tell us all about what's going on in your life and where you were, what happened, how did you get started in what you're doing right now? What really inspired you to do what you're doing with Nyghtstorm Camp and the foundation? Looks like we're getting a bad feedback on the internet today, so we're stuck. All right. Welcome, IG. Welcome back to the Influencers Podcast. We got a crazy internet today, but we won't let that stop us.
Can you hear me?
You're fine. Yes. Tell us all about what you're doing these days with the new venture, Nyghtstorm Camp.
Okay, well, basically, I appreciate you having me on your platform. And Nyghtstorm Camp is basically an extension of my leadership program that I have going on in some of the most hardest hit Georgia alternative schools. And these schools are full of young people who have been in trouble with law enforcement, who have been locked up and released and ultimately kicked out of regular school because of behavior issues. And a lot of these kids they come from backgrounds like many of us come from, broken homes, dealing with a lot of darkness in the homes, behavior issues, just violence issues, maybe involved with gangs. And so what's been happening with these kids is that they've been negatively interacting with parents, negatively interacting with teachers, violence against teachers. You have a lot of teachers quitting. So when it gets to be that bad, they call me in and I go in and I talk to these children, able to establish trust and a relationship with these kids, telling them about my life, the things I've gone through, that they're not by themselves, but more importantly, how what they're doing is negatively destroying any chances of the life that they want will be gone, but also teaching them those life skills, critical thinking skills, and introducing a whole lot of faith into them, talking with their parents, retraining the teachers. So now we have a cohesive environment for these children to be able to succeed. So the Nyghtstorm Camp is an extension of the school program, and it goes through a camp of 5 days. And it's really hitting hard with other business leaders, other faith leaders, other leaders in the community that we come together and talk about these issues, but more importantly, develop life-changing solutions and teaching them those life-building skills where they can make better choices and become ultimately the people they need to be. And it's a hardcore camp, but it's a lot of benefit and reward and a lot of earning. And they tend to get lasting impressions and a lasting change. And by the grace of God, that's what we're doing.
Well, it sounds like you're making a difference in the community from the ground up, the very bootstrap people that need it the most. Say, I heard you're called the bodyguard of Georgia. So what's your background to put you in a position to lead the people out of the darkest places?
Well, I appreciate that. And I think I've earned that title, the bodyguard of Georgia, because just real talk, I've been a bodyguard in security for 30 years, guarding CEOs, celebrities, people with more money than sense, getting themselves into trouble and situations, but being able to extract them from very perilous situations, extracting children from sex trafficking, also extracting single moms and their children who've been targeted by gangs if they are witnesses in court cases, getting them to safe places around the country for court, or just getting them out of the country, period, for safety. But more importantly, I like to do this work of giving back. It's because in 1992 I was homeless and sleeping on the street. Gangs tried to kill me for orientation, and by the grace of God, I survived. And it was for the sake of the community. Many people who cared about me, white, black, Jew, Gentile, from all backgrounds, they came together and produced the man that's sitting in front of you right now. So community is very important. The community guarded my body in the beginning. So now I'm bodyguarding the community and empowering the community because the community first empowered me.
Well, I enjoyed, getting to know your story. I know you've run for Congress. You've done a lot of things in your life to try to improve the lot of the average American. So you're a man, a stand-up man. And, we need people like you in the community. We need people like you in the schools. And I can't think of a better place to put the effort. So, yeah, I think a lot of people around the world who are watching this today, they're probably going, I didn't know this guy existed. Where you kept him hidden all these days? Well, we have a lot of gems like YG here in Georgia. So give us a hint about your greatest failure story. What happened that really set you off onto a new track? And, it wasn't always rosy, I know.
No, sir. And the most important part of anybody's story is the darkest moments, because all of us, I don't care where we come from, what our background is, what tax bracket we is, what skin color we are, it doesn't matter. Life hurts sometimes. Life hurts more than others in some cases. And with me, it was about growing up in a very broken home. In 1985, when I was 11 years old, I'm always fully transparent with my students, the parents, and anybody that listens. Even when I was running for Congress, I was sexually assaulted as a child when I was 11 years old. It broke my spirit. It broke my faith. I didn't know if I loved God or hated God. I didn't know if I loved myself, loved people. I just hated everything. And then going back into a situation with a broken home, with dad being gone and mom hating dad, dad hating mom, and mom basically looking at me when I started looking exactly like my father, and let's just say dueling out some punishments because she couldn't hurt him, but she would hurt me. It really broke my spirit as a child. And by the time I was 18, having to leave my mother's home because of perilous circumstances, it was safer for me to be out on the streets than at home. So when we talk about coming from issues like this from our childhood, even though I understood my mom and dad loved me, but they also had darkness that they came from, and they weren't really able to work through that to make my life better or change for me. So I had to learn, I wanted to do things differently for my own kids. Now, I'm a proud father of 7 adult children, but 3 of my kids are in heaven. My twins, Howard and Hank, unfortunately passed away in the womb. And my oldest son, Victor, was killed on his job in 2008. He was 19 years old. So when we go through these feelings of powerlessness, things that have happened to us that we know are just unjust, and we crying out, God, why us? Why does this hell have to happen to me? You have to understand that we all have gone through it. But as I said before, by the grace of God and the connection of people, and he sends the Holy Spirit, he sends the Comforter to help you. Know when your help is coming, understand why the help is there, but now it's time to get up and move forward and make an impact to change lives in ways where your life wasn't changed. Now you can be that change for others. And that was the darkest part of my life. And I'm moving forward from that. And I'm empowered by that. And you never let that darkness destroy you. You bring that a little bit of light in, and it'll blow all that away.
YG, I believe your story touches so many people that don't want to admit that they had some of the same problems. And so you're real, you're very transparent. And I think that's why you have such a wide audience now. I want to know from your experience, what are the top 3 reasons you see out there that these children fail? I mean, you can put your finger on 3 reasons, I know. So give us your experience.
Well, reason number 1 is insecurity. The reason why a lot of these kids are insecure is because there's no trust that's been established. They don't trust their mom. They don't trust their dad. A lot of feelings of abandonment from there at home. And then when they get to school, they don't trust the teachers because they think the teachers are their enemies. They don't trust administration because they think administration are the enemies. And unfortunately, in a lot of their cases, they see other children as their enemies. So that's where the insecurity comes from, because of the lack of trust. Number two, environment. We all know environment, environment plays a huge key because of past traumas from the parents, because of past traumas from any adult figures that's around them, and the failures of not being able to do the work and heal themselves. They might have had children way too early and unprepared, and now putting on that generational curse on their kids. So now we got the insecurity mixed with a hectic, destructive environment at home. And then you take it to school and you're surrounded with other kids of the same caliber. And lastly, resources. Okay, so you're already insecure. You're growing up in hectic environments, and there's a severe lack of resources. Now, we all know what goes on in a lot of these communities. You'll get politicians and leaders always talking about things, but things are rarely done. But we have to put initiative into these kids and saying, hey, you may not have the right resources right now. We know it's hell. We know it's messed up. But these are the ways you can start changing your life and connecting to others. So now you can start having the proper resources so we can work on changing that environment that you're coming from and get rid of that insecurity and give you confidence knowing that you can overcome this situation, not by yourself, but by connecting with the right people, with the right training, with the right resources. Now we're able to tackle the problem.
I like it. You nailed it right on top with resources. People can do a lot with the right resources. Hey, you get up every day and you start off with a new fresh day. What motivates you internally to keep doing the work? I call this the work of the Lord right now.
Well, that's a good question. It's called appreciation. Because honestly, Doc, you know me, we go way back. When I tell people about my story, about hiding in when I was 18 in 1992 and homeless and hiding in dumpsters, trying to keep from being killed by gangs going through initiation, because initiation to them, you have to kill someone in order to get into the gang, and killing homeless people is always the easiest route. Hiding in a dumpster and hearing other people being killed around me, actually, going out doing extractions and being shot at, and not a bullet hit me. And 9 times out of 10, I'm the biggest person there. When we was doing extraction, I was 6'2", 340 pounds. Okay, I'm the big guy with the big gun, and I didn't get hit once. Looking at all these situations where I know that if the world had its way, I should have been dead. But by the grace of God, I'm still here. And regardless of all these life-threatening issues that should have killed me, they did not kill me. So I owe it to God. I owe it to my community. I owe it to people. I owe it to everybody. I owe it to myself to get my behind up, go make a difference every day, be grateful and appreciative of this life, of this air that I'm breathing, because no day is guaranteed. So I'm going to take advantage of today. That's why.
Excellent. Thank you. Now we talk about the Nyghtstorm Camp, and you have a foundation tied to that. What is the motto that you go by at the camp?
Make change now. That's the motto. Make change now. I know a lot of people like to be, proactive and say, yeah, we can do this, and, and we can invest in people so they can make change tomorrow. No, a lot of these people are in dire straits. Okay. They don't have the luxury to look at things, to forecast things, 90 days from now, 120 days from now, 6 months from now, 3 years from now, 5 year. We always talk about in business a 5-year plan. When you're in dire straits, it's a 5-minute plan. Okay, it's like right now, how can we make change now immediately to start making improvements so we can work up to a 5-day plan? Then we can work up to a 5-week plan. Then we can work up to a 5-month plan. Then we can work up to that 5-year plan. But you have to be in position to do that. But unfortunately, when you're in dire straits, you ain't. So that's what we try to fix.
You know, you talked about extraction. I'm thinking your job, your business is extracting children from the garbage dump of life where they've been dumped. And you're charged with pulling them into productive society, what Nyghtstorm Camp's all about. Tell us the 3 success secrets that you can share with us that you teach these students, these kids, to get out of that dump.
All right. First one, transparency. Always be real with yourself and others, because if you're lying to yourself, you're lying to everybody else, and you can't go nowhere. So one thing that a lot of them appreciate is this full, honest transparency, saying, you know, I'm not Superman. I went through hell like everybody else. I still have my days when I have my doubts. I still have my days of disappointment when things don't go my way. I still have issues, you know, sometimes with my adult children and people that I love and care about. We have arguments, we have our breaks, we have our this, we have our that. But when you're honest with people, even in personal life and in business, people will trust you more because they say this person is a straight shooter. Now, outside of the transparency, now you got to have purpose. Okay, you got to start thinking, how can I get to this point? What is my purpose to make it? And if you can define your purpose, like my purpose is for me to survive for the next 24 hours with a meal in my stomach, a connection that I make to somebody, and a way to make tomorrow a little bit better. That's starting as a purpose. And then that purpose can grow after that. After that, now is growth. Growth is bringing the connections together. All of the people that you need, that you have met, that God has put into your life, all the business people, the personal people, things who support you, your community, bringing it together now. So now you've already been truthful with yourself and others through the transparency. Now you already have your purpose, your plan of action to move forward. And now you're bringing it all together like a nice soup that you'd have mixed in, and now you eat it and it tastes so good, you're nourished, and now you're ready to go.
Well, transparency, purpose, and growth formula to pull them out of the dumpster. I like it. Hey, you know, you've got clients that you send to the school or you bring to the school, to the camp. Who is that ideal person that you bring in? I mean, where do you find the people?
Well, the people that I find we're bringing in, like I say, business professionals. They'll come in, and it's always good to have, you know, I always say it's always good to have a team because no one makes it by themselves. And when I talk to the kids, I'll say, okay, what do you want to do in life? What do you really want to do? If you had your way to do whatever, what do you want to do? So if they say, hey, I want to get into auto mechanics, I will go find some of the top leaders in auto mechanics, maybe go to some of these top end dealerships in the community, in the county, and say, hey, I would like for you to come in and talk to a particular student of mine, make their time your time, sit down and talk to them and become a mentor with them because they want to go into your business. Also, make time on the weekend for them and their family to come visit your dealership and talk to the service managers, talk to all the employees that you got, talk about the brand of cars that you work on and the things that need to move forward, really break it down to them. And then thirdly, give them an internship so they can come and work with you and see hands-on when they have spare time, earn a little bit of money also on the side to take care of themselves, but get that homegrown experience. So this is what we do when we're bringing people in. I already talked to the kids or what they want to do. I match them with the business professional of their field, bring them together, create the relationship, and that way they can grow their purposes together.
Sounds like a lot of resources development you're doing right there. So is there a well-defined product or service that the camp provides to the kids when they're in? How long are they there at the camp?
Okay, the camp is for the summer program, the camp is 5 days, 4 nights. And they're, like I said, they're going to get an intense version of what they get from the school. Now, throughout the school year, the camp is going to be going 2 times a month, every other weekend. So this is to re-energize the kids throughout the school year. And they come from all different schools in the county. And if some could not make it for the summer camp, at least they get to have that recharge every other weekend during the month. So as we go, and then when next summer of 2024 hits, now it's a bigger camp, and we get to refocus all over again on the challenges they're facing individually, the challenges they're facing in their families, the challenges they're facing in school, and also the challenges they're going to be facing in the future, because we really talk about when 2030 hits, everything changes a lot for 2030. And I tell them, everybody that's working in lower wage jobs, it's being automated. So if you go to Walmart, you're seeing less humans there. In Texas, they have an automated McDonald's. No humans are working there. It's just robots serving food. So by the time they graduate high school, just like 100 years ago, they're going to be the first generation in 100 years to graduate, and there's not going to be many workable low-wage jobs for them. So they're going to have to level up, get prepared for what's coming, and get ready and be ready for the new world that's coming in the year 2030.
Well, you're preparing them for the future, and it's definitely coming. I mean, we don't do the same picking cotton. We don't pick the strawberries. I've seen farm vehicles go out and strip an acre of produce off the farm. It used to take 20 or 30 people half a day. So yeah, automation is coming. Artificial intelligence, lasers can pick out things that the human eye can see, do just as good a job, and it doesn't cost too much to run a laser. Let's talk about your competition. Is there anybody else doing what you're doing in this field of saving these kids from, a life of poverty and competition with each other, where they actually are fighting each other? How are we going to bring them up? Is there anybody doing this other than you?
Well, there's a lot of good programs in Georgia and around the country, but what makes us unique is that one-on-one factor of me going into and having home interventions as well. So there's many facets about the Nyghtstorm program. It's more than just interacting with kids at school. It's actually doing interventions with them at home. It's also having interventions with them with the court system. And it's also as well, I have a prison program where I'm actually not just with the kids, but I also help train the parents. I go into prison program, have a Be a Better Dad program that I initiated in 2012, where I'm talking to fathers who are about to come out of prison and help them to be a better dad and lower that recidivism rate. Also with the single moms who are displaced. A lot of these women are moving around because they don't have resources for these kids, and these kids are bouncing around. I help to find them housing and safe and secure locations, and to get resources and to help them be able to understand their children better. And like I said, there's a myriad of programs that go hand in hand, but it all works together for the benefit of the kid. And then also a training program for the actual teachers and administrators and school boards, because there's a disconnect between school boards and parents right now. So we have to be on the same team and help everybody understand the best benefit for these children to be able to have a future. It's not divisiveness between the adults around them, but a continuity that helps to empower them, not just at home, at school, in the workplace, and with the school board, with the parents. We got to all act right to get this right.
YG, you bring up some pretty touchy subjects there when you talk about school boards and parents. They're not getting along right now. And there's a political divide between who runs the schools and who teaches in the classroom and the parents at home. It's a tricky place. How do you deal with that?
Well, I go to a lot of the school board meetings, even when I was running in Congress, and a lot of the school board maybe have a opposing political ideology than I did. But I'll tell them, I say, hey, this is deeper than politics, guys. This is more than politics. I said, we have to do what works. And the best way I was able to do it with a contentious school board is for the last 2 Christmases, myself and a couple of partners, we would get resources, clothes, and food for over 100 families in Gwinnett County. And then I would take all that stuff up to the school board and say, here, I give it to a lot of the superintendents. I say, disperse this to the families in the schools, and we need to work together for the benefit of the families. Just that act alone opened the minds of a lot of people that I have a political opposement to, but working together for the benefit of those children. And I say, look, trust me, bring me into the program to your worst performing schools, the most violent schools. Let me show you how the program works. When you have happy parents, happy kids, and you're keeping teachers from quitting because they're being beat up at school, everybody's on the same page. It makes you look good. The parents are happy, the kids are happy, and you have a high retention rate of teachers. Everybody happy. Let's move the politics out the way and just focus on fixing it.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I've seen too many people that smile and talk about those subjects you just mentioned. Most people are grumbling, fussing, complaining about how bad it is. So you've got a solution. You're not just mumbling and grumbling. So good for you, YG. Now, let's turn people into brand ambassadors is the topic. How do you get people on your side to run with this program, to make it be one of the stellar shining lights in Georgia and maybe a model for around the world?
Well, I take the I can show you better than I can tell you approach. I mean, because the action, where anybody can speak, but actions, is worth it's proof of effort. And when you can actually show, and that's when I sent you the video, the link of actual students giving testimony, actual letters from students giving testimony. Because it's one thing to say, oh, yeah, I'm YG Nyghtstorm and this is what I do. No, you have to be able to actually show the benefit, show the results to people. And when people actually seeing it moving, and they have proof that the concept, the idea, the initiative works across the board of a diverse crew of people, then now they're engaged. Now they want to know more. And then you tell them how it can work for you, how you can apply this and make it work. Now it makes sense. And now that's how you create better brand ambassadors who can go out here and speak it and show it and make it effective.
Well, that's a pretty good recommendation. And because you said it, I'm putting it up. This is the link to your video, about 13, 14 minutes long, but it's power packed. And I watched it. I saw a lot about what Nyghtstorm Camp was all about and the foundation and where you want to take this thing. Where is it located around Atlanta?
Well, some of the locations is Atlanta, but it's right now it's a nice location out in the outskirts of Atlanta, maybe about a couple of hours out. Really nice and isolated is in Garwood Farms. And Dave Garwood is a good friend of mine, a wonderful, wonderful person who loves helping community, but it's about 1,000 acres and it is beautiful. It is pristine and it is the best place for people to go, recharge, take a break from social media, take a break from all the drama of everything that's going on, be able to refocus and attack life with a game plan, moving forward.
No, wait a minute. You said take a break from social media. You mean there's no Wi-Fi down there?
It's Wi-Fi, but you're going to cut those phones off and pay attention.
All right. Well, you almost had me there. I was wondering if there's no Wi-Fi, how could I survive?
Oh, yeah. Well, they figure it out real quick.
Let me ask you this question. What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for life, man. As I said earlier, I'm grateful for relationships in my life. And some people try to measure success as a monetary value. And I know plenty of people who are very wealthy, who are very unhappy, who unfortunately delete themselves, who unfortunately and still walking in darkness, and they have many millions and millions and millions of dollars. Success to me, it's not monetary. Success to me is quality of relationship. Because if you have the right relationships in your life and good people, the right type of people, right quality people, money can come, money can go, but you will always have that strong foundation of support of people that's going to be there for you, and you be there for them, and create those tight bonds. And that's, to me, what success is all about. And I have that in spades. I have you, sir. I consider you a big brother. You gave me my smile. Okay, way back, I think back in 2012, you gave me my smile. I visited your doctor's office, and you and other people in my life, my children, that's what makes me successful. Being a dad is the best thing I've ever done in my life. My kids are the greatest blessing that I've ever had. And the wonderful friends that I have is the second. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you. YG is always good, especially when I can get you in my chair and start working on you. I feel like I've got power, working on the bodyguard of Georgia. That's pretty special for me, taking care of my buddy. Hey, you start your day off doing something. What's your number one thing you like to get done first?
Pray. I always pray first. I want to make sure I get that done first. And the next thing is call important people in my life. I know sometimes we send text messages and try to get things going very quickly, but take time to honestly call somebody special. It can be just one person. Call one person special in your life each day. And, and you can go through your phone and say, okay, well, tomorrow I'm gonna call this person, and the next week I'm gonna call this person, but call them, talk to them, because honestly, as I said, life is short. We are given seven decades, 8 decades, if we're lucky, 9 decades, if we're really, really lucky, but you don't know how the day is going to end. You don't know if this person is going to be here tomorrow. You have no idea if you're going to be here in the next 5 minutes. Call at least one person, connect with them, and tell them that you love them, that you care about them. And that's the thing that I do each morning. And, and my phone call to you is overdue. So you're going to be getting a phone call tomorrow.
I've been ratting on you for a while, trying to get you to call me. We got big plans. We're gonna do things together. I know you and I have been going together on different plans. I was on your radio show maybe 10, 15 years ago, talking about what we do and what you do, and it was the family show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was Nyghtstorm Radio. It was myself and my wife at the time. She's my ex-wife now, but we're still very, very good friends and co-parent. But we were so honored and humbled to have you on the show, because you were able to help break down the more important things about business success. And you talked a lot about relationships and connections and being able to touch the lives of others because others have touched your life. And honestly, it gave me a blueprint on how to move forward on a lot of things after that. And besides, like I said, you fixed my teeth.
Hey. So you got a big goal, this Nyghtstorm Camp and the foundation you're running, getting into schools, making a sea change with the students, the faculty, the administration, the school boards. This is a big challenge. So how are you going to do this? What's your big accomplishment? What's the goal overall?
Well, as I said earlier, action, speaks louder than words, and being able to go to the school board, for one, even when I was running for Congress, I was never contentious with them. Okay, I never approached them in a defensive manner, or I'm ready to fight you guys and just say to you, all you guys gonna go to hell. I never said that. I just approached them and said, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how we're making it better. And I would love to partner with you guys, because we've lost that partnership between the school board, the teachers, and the parents. Because back in the day when we were in school, if a kid acted up, then, if they acting up on their teacher, they're going to catch hell when they get home from their parents. Okay, now we got it flipped, where we got parents and going at it with teachers and the school board. We have to get back on the same page and bring that partnership back where we are working cohesively as a unit for the betterment of the children in reading, writing, arithmetic, life skills, critical thinking, being able to treat others the way we want to be treated, and just to bring back those down home values that actually help everybody across the political spectrum. Just treat others the way you want to be treated. Go to school, learn how to go out and conquer and kill it in this world. And if you want to do other things in your life as an adult, then you're free to do that. It's a free country. But let's keep school for kids and empower them in the basics and send them off and let them go conquer the world their own way.
I got you, YG. I think everybody heard the message under the message. Let kids be kids. Let's get back to teaching kids about education in our schools. Hey, look back now at your life. When you're 20 years old, you didn't know what you know now. What's advice you're going to give yourself as to how to move forward?
Shut up and listen. Shut up and listen, man. 20-year-old version of me, of Johanse George Nyghtstorm, man. It's like I had 8 miles in one ear, you know, doing all this talking, running my mouth and not listening to nothing, and just getting myself in more trouble and burying myself more and more pain and anguish, man. It's like that when you're young, man. They say youth is wasted on the young, and I get it, man. I get it. But I would tell myself to shut up and pay attention. And yes, it's going to be hard, but it's you're going to have to focus. You were not given a good set of cards when you were born. You were born in messed up circumstances. Yup. Your parents aren't perfect. It is what it is. And your life sucks right now. But here's a plan of action to make it better. Shut up and listen. Appreciate the people that come in your life to help you. Take away the ego, the pride, have more humility, and now move forward with your purpose and never give up no matter what you see.
Yeah, you're a disciple of tough love, and it works. That's the truth. I can see it. Who's your living mentor, and what's the impact they have on you?
Well, actually, you know, I mean, I don't want to, you know, pad your blanket, but I see you as one of my mentors. I have several big brothers that I have in my life, and that's what I tell anybody: have a big brother. If you're a man, if you're a woman, have a big sister, somebody that has seen the life and lived it, and somebody that you want to be, because you are who you hang around, and being around you, being around others that I completely appreciate. Looking at how you live your life, looking at how you've been able to have your marriage, how you've been able to have your business, how you've been able to travel and affect the lives of others selflessly, not selfishly, but selflessly. It gives me hope knowing if I move the same way, if I shut up and listen, pay attention, see what they do, mimic what they do, there's a very strong chance I would get the same results. And that's what I tell any young people. If you want a really good, strong, positive life, instead of listening to these rappers or these rock singers or these pop singers that's crazy, these Instagram models that's out here doing all this divisive stuff and destruction, if you can listen to them and your life is messed up, imagine if you listen to somebody good, somebody positive, somebody productive. Hit your wagon to that and become that. And that's my simple advice.
Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate the confidence you have in your dentist. And, you know, impactful is big when you are the reason. You know, I don't know anybody that's trying to have a bigger impact than you. I know a lot of people that are having big impacts around the world, but you are somebody I know personally that's doing it. And so, tell us that motivation factor, why it's important to you to impact the kids.
Well, it is what it is. Like I said, be the change now. Change it now. You're that person. Because I remember when I didn't have anyone, But I also remember when someone did come in my life and gave me that chance, loved me enough to tell me the truth, loved me enough to show me the way, not just say, oh, you need to do that. No, here's how you can do that. And that's what made a big impact on my life, is having people who are able to tell me not just what to do, but show me how to do it. And that's what kids need right now. And that's what's going to make the biggest impact, because the impact that's being made on them now through the social media, through the music, through Hollywood, through all the negative, divisive, toxic stuff, it is showing that it makes a real impact who they listen to. And it's giving them the direct results of what these people are saying. Messed up life, broken life, destroyed families, destroyed life, in and out of jail, single and having, kids and just messed up. It's working. So the impact of you coming in and showing them the right way, and the impact of them listening and walking in that way, is exponential.
Well, that's going to do it pretty well. I think if you impact people that way, they're going to change. This is the time for the world to do a shift. Right now, things couldn't be more messed up in the world. So we need you. We need your program. And when it's all said and done, YG, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be first remembered as a loving father, that man loved his children and he loved God. Because without God and my kids, I wouldn't be me. And secondly, he loved people because people first loved him. And that's what I want to be remembered for. I don't want to be remembered as some billionaire or millionaire. None of that money, all that stuff, that means nothing to me. It is the personal connections and impact that saved my life. And I'm only can pray that the personal connections and impact that I do can save others like others have saved me. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like the domino effect is going to happen. What you do is going to be replicated throughout your students. There's going to be another YG born every week, every month, every year. Is going to be another YG born to go out and be a change agent. How can we support you and the foundation, the camp? Give us some links to reach you.
Well, you can always reach me through my YouTube channel, YG Nyghtstorm, on YG Nyghtstorm on all social media. You can also go through my email, that is Nyghtstorm, NYGHTSTORM 74 at protonmail, PROTON, protonmail.com. And you can always go through my website that I still have up, YG, YG for FOR, YGforCongress.com. That's the easiest way. You can see a lot of the programs, and some people have asked if I'm going to run again. We shall see. If God says run, I will obey. So that's what we're doing. You'll have to see. We'll see. But YGforCongress.com and all the social media, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for people to put in funds because we can't move without funds. We can't move without resources. But I know we're going to get what we need, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to change the world together. That's it.
Excellent. We'll talk about Bless in just a minute, but I think supporting causes like yours is a wise thing. People should look at it better than many of the things we waste our money on out there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your experience about being on the show today, other than the Wi-Fi hiccup?
This show is always interviewing with you and talking with you is always a blessing. You always being able to give your perspective and being able to actually show people who are real folks that actually honestly really care. And excuse my French, people who honestly just give a damn. Let's just go on and say it. People who just honestly give a damn about issues and making real change in the lives of others. There's so many people who are grifters. There's so many people who are pretenders. There's so many people who are willing to siphon your money with a nice speech, with a nice tagline, with a nice marketing strategy, but serve no real good purpose in your lives of others other than themselves. Programs like this, sir, with you, Dr. Bill, it showcases people who give a damn about you, about others, about truly making a difference in the most basic and truest, transparent way, and building folks up from there. And that's the benefit of this program.
Thank you, YG. We try to find the best and share with our audience the best. So I'm glad you nailed that one. I'm going to give you the final word, then I'll come back and we'll talk some more. But here's your time to shine. And
all right. Well, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my privilege to be on this show. And as you see behind me right there, it's called It's All Good, regardless of what you are going through. And just like I tell my students or anyone that I work with, anybody that has crossed my path, we all going through hell. Everybody has a cross on their back. Everybody got different pain, different issues, different crosses, but they all heavy and they all hurt. But I would say to you, allow the Holy Spirit to come into your life. Let the Holy Spirit come because he's the comforter. And then pick up that cross and give it back to God because his burdens are light. And then allow the people that God brings into your life to help you with that cross, and you help them with theirs, and you pick each other up and you take it one step at a time, regardless of how hard you think it is. Every step you take is a step away from the hell, from the darkness, and walking out of hell into the righteousness, into the life you need, into the life you want, into the life you deserve, because you're walking toward Christ and his glory. So I'm not trying to preach to you. I'm only telling you what has worked for me, and for me being able to conquer the darkness in my life and help the people around the world that I've been able to help. And I'm not unique. What I do can be easily replicated by just following God, loving people, and focusing on doing the right thing. And guess what? It's all good.
there you go. The final word is it's all good. And
it's all good.
I really like how you summarized it up. You know, it's all in God's hands. In his day, things are going to all turn out good. Now, for you guys who are wanting to know more about what's going on with the Influencers Podcast, check out the QR code. It goes to this business card of mine. And on that business card, there's two things that are important. One is my website, where you can see all the Influencer Podcast sessions, scores of them. Adding another one today with YG Nyghtstorm. We interview people from all over the country about what they think is most important in their life, and you'll find there's some real gems in there. So go to the QR code, go to the website. You'll also find the second thing that's important is the company that I'm working with ONPASSIVE. We've got things that can actually help you be a better person, better business. And we've got an income center for all your students. YG, this might be one of the best reasons we got together today is to introduce your students who are looking for income. We have an income generating machine that every student could have a sustainable life once they enter the program. And it's built on a promise that you don't have to do anything. You just have to be a member. And that's a big deal. You know, you just have to belong. And so as we talk to our friends about it, the whole thing is we want them to succeed without having to work for somebody else. That's kind of our bottom line motto. Succeed in life, but be your own boss. Have total time and money freedom, and you can get it by going to this URL right here. So again, I'll put up your YouTube video. People should look at this. You can pause your video, you can take a picture of it, and you can go to YG's video. Now YG, that's a pretty difficult thing to remember there. Wouldn't it be easier to have something like this? I
like that.
A little memorable word. So I've got a free product I want to give everybody right now. You can make an O trim of any long URL and then put your custom code on it, like track them. And that one is for my program called O-Tracker, which is a web analytics tool. And this trim thing is free. Everybody that's looking at it can go get it. And where do you get it? Of course, you go right there. So it's all together. It's all connected. And that's what ONPASSIVE is all about. We want to give things away to people. And I mentioned one word, oh, bless. Remember that?
Yes.
That's our charity program of Pay It Forward. It's a GoFundMe for good projects. Now, if you're an honorable guy and you talk about your project and you have a passion and a desire for it to succeed, you put that up on Oh Bless, and people all around the world will start donating to your project because it's a donation program, and it's so good. We don't charge anybody for it. It's free. We don't take a slice of the pie. When somebody donates, you get 100%. Nobody else does that. That's the give back that ONPASSIVE has to the world, to have an Oh Bless program to fund charities, nonprofits, innovative startups. You know, we don't just go with nonprofits. We'll fund profitable startups that have innovation. So I think what you're doing with Nyghtstorm Camp might fit the bill, you know? So we need to look into letting the world know about Nyghtstorm Camp through the Oh Bless project. And all that is going to be available right here at this place. So you can all join, and YG's already a member. We already know about that. And he can use Oh Bless because he is a member. He's a founding member of ONPASSIVE, just like I am. So you guys, it's Dr. Bill Williams, and I had a real good time with YG. And YG, thanks for coming on today. Enjoyed seeing you. Enjoyed hearing your latest endeavor. I think it might be the most important one you're doing right now.
Well, thank you, big brother. I appreciate that. God bless you. ONPASSIVE, Oh Blessed, everybody that's here that's watching this, continue to support Dr. Bill with this right here and this wonderful organization, because they're actually making a difference. Because as I said, excuse my French, they actually give a damn about people.
Amen. Take care, my friend. I'll see you around town. Take care, everybody out there, and we'll see you on the next Influencer podcast coming up later this week. Take care.